The morning of the royal Easter service wasn't just another holiday. It was a symbol. After 2 years of turmoil and a long retreat from the public eye, the sight of Prince William, Princess Catherine, and their 3 children wasn't just a family going to church. It was a powerful, carefully planned declaration that the monarchy's future was stepping back into the light, united and resilient. As cameras flashed at Windsor on April 5, 2026, one thing was clear. This was the moment the world had been waiting for. This was the grand return. To really get why this one day mattered so much, we have to rewind the clock to a time that tested the very foundations of the modern monarchy. To say that 2024 and 2025 were challenging for the House of Windsor is an understatement. It was a period marked by a dual health crisis that struck at its very core, a time defined not by royal ceremony, but by quiet press releases, hospital visits, and an unnerving, unprecedented silence. The crisis kicked off in January 2024 when Kensington Palace announced that Catherine, the Princess of Wales, had undergone a planned abdominal surgery. The news itself was a surprise, but it was the weeks of silence that followed and her prolonged absence that fueled a global firestorm of speculation. That silence was finally, and heart-wrenchingly, broken on March 22, 2024. In an emotional and deeply personal video message, Catherine revealed that post-operative tests had found cancer and that she had started a course of preventative chemotherapy. Her focus, she explained, was on her recovery and on reassuring her 3 young children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. The announcement sent shockwaves around the globe, instantly turning idle gossip into profound empathy. The family's decision to prioritize their privacy was absolute. They retreated, creating a protective bubble around their children and figuring out how to explain the diagnosis in a way they could understand. As a result, they were absent from the traditional Easter service in 2024, a small but notable break in royal tradition. Adding to the family's personal crisis was the king's own health battle. Just weeks before Catherine's announcement, Buckingham Palace had confirmed that King Charles III was also undergoing treatment for an unspecified form of cancer. The monarchy was suddenly facing a situation nobody had seen in modern times. Both the reigning monarch and the future queen were fighting serious illnesses at the same time. Throughout 2024, the king took on a model of modified duty, appearing at some events and in photos to reassure the public. Catherine, however, remained almost completely out of sight. Her gradual return to public life was slow and deliberate, starting with a celebrated appearance at Trooping the Colour in June 2024. Throughout 2025, her engagements were few and carefully managed. The family again chose to spend Easter privately at Anmer Hall, their Norfolk home, putting family time before public duty. These 2 years were a period of immense strain. The absences, while medically necessary, raised questions about the stability of a slimmed-down monarchy. The burden of public duties fell squarely on the shoulders of Queen Camilla, Prince William, and Princess Anne. Every royal appearance was scrutinized, every absence noted. It was against this backdrop of crisis and quiet recovery that the Easter service of 2026 was set. It wasn't just the first time the Wales family would attend in 3 years. It was a deeply symbolic milestone, marking the end of a long, difficult chapter and the start of a new one. On the crisp spring morning of April 5, 2026, the grounds of Windsor Castle were buzzing with an energy that hadn't been felt in years. Well-wishers and media from around the world had gathered, and the anticipation was electric. They were there to witness a reunion, and the royal family didn't disappoint. Leading the royal procession down from the castle were the very people everyone had come to see, the Prince and Princess of Wales and their 3 children. Prince William, ever the steady future king, led his family with a reassuring presence. Beside him was Princess Catherine, making her first appearance at this key family event since 2023. Her presence alone was a powerful statement of recovery. With them were Prince George, now 12 and a future monarch in the making, Princess Charlotte, 10, who confidently waved to the crowd, and Prince Louis, just shy of his 8th birthday, full of energy. This was a rare public outing for the children during their 3-week Easter break from school and a perfect example of the Wallace blend of private family life and public duty. The children's appearance was a particular highlight. It was their first public outing of 2026, with their last being on Christmas Day 2025. One of the most talked about details was a charming break from tradition by 7-year-old Prince Louis. While young royal boys have worn shorts for formal events for centuries, Louis stepped out in smart navy trousers, a subtle but clear signal that he's growing up. As King Charles III, aged 77, and Queen Camilla arrived, a shout of "God Save the King" rang out from the crowd. Then came the most heartwarming moment of the day. As the king prepared to enter St. George's Chapel, he shared a sweet, unscripted exchange with his youngest grandson. A lip reader later suggested that Louis's simple greeting to his grandfather prompted an affectionate chuckle from the king, who then reached out and touched the young prince on the cheek. This small, tender gesture between a monarch and his grandson captured the essence of the day: family, affection, and continuity. In total, 18 members of the royal family attended, presenting a broad, united front. They included Princess Anne and her husband, Sir Timothy Lawrence, Prince Edward, Duke of Edinburgh, with his son James, Earl of Wessex, and Lady Sarah Chatto, Princess Margaret's daughter, with her husband, Daniel. Adding to the sense of a new chapter was the presence of Peter Phillips, Princess Anne's son, accompanied by his fiancée, Harriet Spurling. It was Spurling's first time at the Easter service, and the couple, whose wedding was set for June 6, 2026, held hands as they walked, looking very much a part of the family. Notably absent were Prince Andrew, his ex-wife Sarah Ferguson, and their daughters, Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie. This was widely seen as a clear visual of the king's vision for a more streamlined, working monarchy, especially given Andrew's legal troubles. The absence of the Yorks seemed to underscore the message that the focus is now squarely on the direct line of succession. From the coordinated procession to the king's tender moment with his grandson, every detail was packed with meaning. It was a masterclass in royal symbolism, designed to send a clear message after years of disruption. The 2026 Easter service was more than a religious gathering. It was a piece of royal theater loaded with strategic messages. Every element, from the guest list to the personal interactions, was a deliberate signal to the world. So, what was the monarchy trying to tell us? First and foremost, it was a powerful statement of health and resilience. The joint appearance of King Charles and Princess Catherine, after their significant health battles, was the ultimate visual proof that the institution was back on its feet. For Catherine, especially, this was a triumphant return. After a period of intense privacy focused on her recovery, seeing her walk with her family was the reassurance the public had been waiting for. Her presence signaled that she was moving into a new, more visible phase of her public life. Second, the day was an emphatic reinforcement of the line of succession. The image of King Charles, followed by his heir, Prince William, and the next in line, Prince George, was a living portrait of continuity. With Charlotte and Louis there too, the monarchy was showcasing not just its present but its future for decades to come. This is a classic royal communication strategy, a nonverbal way of saying the institution is secure and the future is in safe hands. The king's warm interaction with Prince Louis added a personal, grandfatherly touch, reminding everyone that behind the titles lies a family. Third, the curated guest list gave us the clearest picture yet of the slimmed-down monarchy. The deliberate absence of Prince Andrew and his daughters was a stark choice. With Andrew stripped of his titles, his exclusion from such a key event was a definitive statement about the king's standards. On the other hand, the inclusion of Peter Phillips's fiancée, Harriet Spurling, signaled a welcome to those marrying into the family, drawing a line between private family life and public royal duty. The 18 royals who attended represented the core of the institution: the monarch, his heir, their families, and the most trusted working royals. Finally, the event was a masterclass in balancing tradition with a modern, family-first approach. The choice to attend during the children's school holidays showed the Wallace commitment to weaving their royal roles into their family life. Their return to this public tradition was a conscious choice, signaling a new balance where major traditions are honored, but in a way that feels normal for their children. and Prince Louis trousers? A minor detail, maybe, but it's part of a subtle modernization, a small step away from stuffy old rules toward a more contemporary style. All in all, the Easter service told a multi-layered story. It was about personal triumph over illness, a promise of stability, a clear definition of the modern monarchy, and a blueprint for the next generation. It wasn't just a return, it was a reset. The grand return of the Wales family to the Easter service has ripples that go far beyond Windsor. This single event helps chart the course for the monarchy's future, setting a tone of renewed strength and redefined focus for the reign of King Charles III. It signals a definitive turning of the page on a period of crisis. The biggest takeaway is the cementing of a new, consolidated core for the royal family. The image of the King and Queen, the Prince and Princess of Wales with their children, and a handful of trusted senior royals is now the face of the institution. This is the team that weathered the storm of the past 2 years, and their united front was a powerful show of their collective resilience. This consolidation clarifies roles internally and presents a streamlined, less controversial brand to the public. This event also solidifies the central role of William and Catherine as the heart of the monarchy's future. While King Charles is the sovereign, their Easter appearance underscored just how crucial they are to the crown's long-term appeal. Their return was met with an outpouring of public warmth, highlighting their immense popularity. They are the bridge between the tradition upheld by the king and the modern relevance needed to connect with younger generations. The Easter service was a powerful reminder that while the king reigns, the Waleses are the future he's safeguarding. This successful public return also lays the groundwork for a more confident royal calendar. With both the King's and the Princess of Wales's health more stable, the institution can move forward with a renewed sense of purpose. It allows for planning more ambitious engagements, state visits, and tours. For instance, the King's scheduled state visit to the United States in late April 2026 is a sign of this renewed confidence. This stability is crucial as it allows the monarchy to shift its focus from crisis management back to proactive diplomacy and public service. Finally, the event subtly addresses the family tensions that have dominated headlines. While the absences of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and Prince Andrew were unspoken, they were felt. By presenting such a harmonious front, the working royals offered a powerful, silent counter-narrative. The message wasn't about conflict, but cohesion and duty. The heartwarming moments, like the King's gesture to Prince Louis, helped humanize the institution, reminding the public that it's a family dedicated to a common purpose. This doesn't erase past difficulties, but it effectively shifts the public's focus toward a more positive, forward-looking vision. The Easter 2026 service will likely be remembered as a pivotal moment. It marked the end of an era of uncertainty and the beginning of a new chapter defined by a more focused, resilient, and unified royal family. The walk to St. George's Chapel on Easter morning was more than just a short stroll. It was the final leg of a long and difficult journey. For 2 years, the monarchy had navigated one of its most turbulent periods, defined by health crises and deep uncertainty. But on April 5, 2026, that uncertainty gave way to a powerful display of unity. The return of Prince William, Princess Catherine, and their children was the symbolic turning of a page. Their presence sent a message of resilience, continuity, and an unwavering commitment to the crown. The image of the king, his heir, and his grandchildren, all together, was a potent and reassuring symbol of the monarchy's future. This wasn't just a return to a cherished tradition, it was a reaffirmation of the institution itself. It showcased a more streamlined, focused, and modern royal family, ready to move forward. The day was a declaration that the House of Windsor, led by its king and anchored by the Prince and Princess of Wales, is stable, strong,